story, and the Kenya Meteorological Department has warned of heavy rains that might cause flooding in various parts of the coast region starting today. The rains are expected to last for 3 days. The weather advisory stated that from today, Kwale, Mombasa, and parts of Kilifi counties will experience heavy rains of around 30 millimeters and above within 24 hours. I want now to bring in my colleague Francis Ontoma joining us from Mombasa. Francis, so are we seeing, many people, sort of like move to places, where it could be safer for them? Because according to that advisory, we're expecting some flash floods, in the coast.
Well, Betty, the concern for many residents here at the coast region, and especially where I am in Mombasa, is that this warning came a little bit too late because it was only issued yesterday by the Whetherman. And we're not very sure whether many have started to heed the concern that had been raised by the Kenya Meteorological Department. But yes, indeed, this time around, the Whetherman appears to have gotten it right because it has already started raining heavily here in Mombasa. I am standing at Ngonyo Road, one of the busiest streets here within the CBD. And already, as you can see behind me, the weather has changed all of a sudden. It has started to rain heavily. And this is expected to really not to just characterize here in Mombasa, but to also be seen in other parts of the coast region. The Weatherman, according to his prediction, these rains will begin right from the southern part of the coast region, that is from the parts of Kwale. Then this rain will be spreading to Mombasa, headed to Kilifi, and on Wednesday and Thursday, this stretch will take to parts of Lamu and Tana River counties. That is the situation that is already starting to build here, and the Weatherman has already sent a red alert to other parts or other agencies tasked with mitigating flooding. Kenya Red Cross, the National Disaster Operations agencies have all been served with this warning to try and see whether they can handle this situation right at the right time. But as I've indicated earlier, the big warning here, or rather the big concern for residents here, is why the Kenya Meteorological Department really gave this warning a bit too late, why this could not have really happened ought to have given a bit of a window so that people get to prepare themselves. But of course, down here in the coast region, and particularly here in Mombasa, when it rains, it's trouble because most parts of this town actually has structurally it has its own issues, and therefore there is normally a lot of flooding that happens within the town. And we are waiting to see how this one will be affecting people because it has gotten actually many people quite unawares. Therefore, at this point, we will be, of course, trying to interact with business people, taxi operators, and many other people here in town to see how this is going to affect their businesses, Betty.
All right. So have they really given information on who exactly and the parts that we're expecting some serious devastation with the flash floods that will be coming, or is this just a blanket advisory that was given, which really will not help much? Because how do I know wherever I am I'm going to be fine or not? Is it particular? Is it information that people can actually use to know that for me, I live in this particular place, I need to move away?
Well, the Weatherman appears to have mapped out some of the regions that will be affected. Most of the low-lying areas have already been identified as areas that will be facing severe rainfall, rather heavy rainfall happening. And therefore, whether indeed an action, it's an action plan, rather an action plan to try and see whether they can mitigate the situation will be a different subject altogether. But as I've indicated, there is concern that this warning appears to have come a little bit too late, and therefore many people will be caught unawares. I'm looking at some of the areas that have been experiencing issues of flooding right here in Mombasa, especially parts of Kisauni. I can picture the kind of situation that has already started to build at the moment, and therefore it's a warning that came perhaps a little bit too late.
All right, and finally, the mitigation measures that have been put, have there any that have been put by the county government? Because like you mentioned, Mombasa has had issues to do with drainage for a very long time. And so, what has been done so far?
Well, as regards the question of mitigating and trying to handle the drainage issues here in Mombasa, actually little has been coming forth, because the last time we saw the county government trying to get into this issue, they were trying to give canoes to people around Bamburi area to try and wade through the floods so that they get to their houses. And therefore, there is no real concrete move that has been accorded here in Mombasa County to try and handle the situations.
Right.
And therefore, at this particular moment, there looks like it's going to be quite an issue here.
All right. Okay, Francis, I'll let you go because I can tell that the rain is pounding, becoming heavier by the minute. So let me let you go to a warmer place. And of course, we'll be giving you the latest details with regards to the floods that will be in Mombasa. There's that warning that was given by the meteorological department of that storm that is expected for the next 3 days. It will be affecting Mombasa, Kilifi, and Kwale counties. And really, the residents there are coming out to say that it is indeed unfortunate that they did not get enough warning. This was just given yesterday, and they're decrying that, you know, they wish that they would have had the information earlier on to really make amends and go to safer places. But we'll be following up on that developing story here on KTN News. But for now,